99.5 Home to the Morning Hustle. Ayeeedubb is who I be, and I have a very special guest in the building. Maybe low-key my twin on the low. Give it up for CJ Monet. What's going on, girl?
What's up? I'm happy to be here.
I know. Welcome to the station. First time, right?
Yes, first time.
Is it what you expected? Is it
It
worse,
is.
less, more? How you feeling?
No, it is definitely like the room is what I expected, but it's just like different when you're here. It's so cool. I'm happy to be here.
I get a lot of artists that like come in here. It's like surreal, or they always be like, "I always listen to this station when I was growing up, and now they're here." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I guess it's cool. I guess it's alright." But no, it's
No,
cool.
I listen to it. I honestly like. I'm one of those people who I have playlists, but like when I'm working or something, I'll be listening to music. But just when I'm driving in the car, I just honestly turn on 97.5.
Oh, I love that.
I've always done that. So I'm a radio girl. What is it?
I know. Same here. Like, I'm Sirius XM a lot, but like, and I don't hardly listen to my song to my phone. Like, if I listen to my phone, it's because I want to hear something specific.
Right.
Any other time, it is radio. Like, I love going to different cities and seeing what other people sound like and what they're playing. So
Yeah.
I love that.
For sure.
So where are you from? Are you from this area, or like where are you from?
So I'm born and raised in Graham, North Carolina, which is like 30 minutes from Durham, on your way to Greensboro. It's kind of halfway between Durham and Greensboro. But I moved to Durham like 3 years ago, and I've been living there ever since. So
You like it?
I love it. Yeah, I love Durham.
Durham's I think it is more fun and vibrant than Raleigh. Raleigh is cool, but something about Durham, I just love Durham.
Yeah. I think it's more artsy almost, like more, I don't know. Raleigh, there's a lot more businesses and it feels more corporate, and I feel like Durham feels a little more like alternative or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just funky, I guess.
Definitely funky.
Yeah.
I'm trying to compare, like, what if I walk around Raleigh, like, after 5? It's
Yeah.
like, I feel like I would be on my best behavior. Durham, they do not care. In a good way. Where I can just do whatever. And I love that, like, kind of free spirit type of vibe. So
for sure.
I do love Durham. Now, how'd you get started into music? What's, like, your backstory?
Honestly, kind of a long story, but short story, I guess. I didn't really know I could sing until I went to college. And I used to sing in the shower, like in the community shower, because I'd always done that growing up. And like a girl waited outside one day to see who was singing on some like Pitch Perfect.
Hello.
And she was like, "Was that you in there singing?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so that was like, I was like, "Oh, okay." So that was the first time I was like, okay, so it's worth somebody, I guess, like waiting to see who it was.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of cool. And then I ended up having a physics class later when I was at ECU with a guy named BC, and he is a rapper who went to ECU with me, and we were at like a study session thing, and he heard me singing and asked me if I would do a feature for him because he made music, and I never like thought about doing that before or anything like that, but I was like, sure, like I'll try it, and then kind of from there it's like sort of snowballed from there. So yeah.
I'm still shocked on the singing in the communal shower because I'm like, I'd be scared just to sing like in front of like my mom or something if I could. But you're singing like in front of like the community shower. You don't know who's in there or like you weren't nervous?
Oh, I thought there was no one in there because
but
like
still though, I don't think like who's in this stall or
my
something.
thing is not like singing in front of people. Like people hearing me is not the problem. It's the eye contact for me because once I feel like your eyes on me, that's what makes me nervous. It's not the like thought of someone hearing me sing necessarily, but I remember there. I don't like remember anybody really being in there when I was doing that, so I was sort of just doing it thinking I'm like by myself and with my roommate who's like ended up being my best friend. We would both kind of sing and harmonize sometimes. Like we would be not in the same shower, obviously. But
okay,
in showers like beside each other, whatever, you know, because there's multiple of them, and so we'd like put on the music and be singing along and whatever, and like she'd hit the harmony and be like, yeah.
That's cute.
It was so fun. It was so much fun.
Oh
Yeah.
Now you have a unique sound, I would say. Did you always sing like that, or did that kind of grow into like this soulful kind of sound and tone?
I think that has always kind of been like when I sing and really put breath behind it, for sure.
Okay.
Because when I first started, I think it's really just been more so like finding my sound. And what I mean by that is not like trying to create it, but just learning my voice and like what can my voice do, what can it not do. And that's just been something that like making more music and practicing and singing has been kind of how I've found that.
Because someone who was here a couple weeks ago, he was like a singer, and I kind of asked him the same thing about like how did he? Because he said he started out rapping, and he didn't know he could sing too, but now he's a really great singer.
Yeah,
and he was saying like it kind of comes from like mimicking artists. Like he was like mimicking like Jodeci or like Al Green or whoever. So I wonder if like, did you mimic anybody like at first just to be like?
I would definitely, like, I didn't, like, specifically, like, say, oh, I'm going to mimic this person, but I was definitely influenced, and I'm sure, like, inadvertently or, like, subconsciously am mimicking, you know what I mean? Like, what you've heard and what you like. But I was, like, the 7th grader listening to Motown. Like, I was trying to put my friends onto the Temptations, so, like, it didn't go well, but, you know.
Okay.
We're here.
Yeah. So. We made it. So
we made it. But yeah, I've always just been like an old soul, so I feel like I really resonate with music that sounds really real and authentic and almost live. So that definitely influences like my sound, but also how I like let things be mixed and engineered and all that kind of stuff as well.
So who were some of your influences? I know you just said like Motown and what else did you just say?
I was talking about the Temptations.
The Temptations, like, what's your, like, real, like, influence that you, like, grew up listening to or, like...
Well, grew up listening to and who I, like, found that I really loved are, like, two kind of different things.
Okay.
Or different people specifically. My mom loved Luther Vandross, so she played him in the house all the time. And Fred Hammond played him a lot. And Aretha Franklin. And my dad really liked country and like 70s 80s rock, so I definitely have some influences of like Fleetwood Mac, stuff like that, as well, as far as like probably more so song structure and like letting things breathe sometimes. But yeah, just a combination of a bunch of that like older music was really my influence growing up. And then now I would say, as I've really like found my favorite music on my own, definitely Erykah Badu, Stevie Nicks, from Fleetwood Mac. I love Snow Allegra. She's awesome.
Oh my God, yes.
Yebba's one of my favorites. I love Kenyon Dixon. He's like he's an independent artist, but he has a few really, really good songs. I'm really liking this like new lane of R&B that's coming out that's almost like alternative R&B or sort of stretching the boundaries of classic R&B and what that can look like when you sort of cross genres.
That is true. Yeah, this new era R&B, it's just so soothing.
Yeah.
It's a vibe every time. Like they could be talking about whatever, but just the vibe in music and the way they sing it is just, I melt for it every time.
Yeah. I feel like the rules are less strict too. It's like there used to be like a certain way, like if you're going to make an R&B song, you're going to do it this way and it's going to have this sound. And now that's sort of being stretched, which I think is dope and exciting.
So did you ever think R&B was dead? Like they were saying like a couple years ago, like, oh, R&B's dead. No one makes R&B music no more.
It's never been dead. It's just like the people who were popular were not who people were resonating with. Because I think it got past the point where like real emotion was being felt behind some of the songs. And like at the end of the day, you're not listening to R&B to not feel anything. So I think like it's just kind of reframing who's been sort of at the forefront of R&B.
That makes sense. But what a good answer. I love that. Yeah. Now, since I've been doing these local music interviews, I get a lot of rappers a lot, and I talk to their music scene, like how they feel putting out music in Raleigh and Durham and things like that. But how is it for like singing? How is the singing group out here? Is it like y'all work together? It's
different?
Cliquish, competition? Y'all work, like, what is it? What's the vibe?
I don't think it's cliquish or competition. It's really, people are very supportive. But I do think that it's different because with singing, you're almost kind of like straddling two worlds, because I feel like there's a lot of shows in this area specifically that are more rap centered. So if you want to be able to perform more of your original stuff, you're going to end up performing at some like shows that are rap heavy and things like that. But also on the other side of that, you're sort of touching on like the acoustic singer-songwriter side. And so there's venues you can sort of perform at in that way. But that ends up being like more covers. So, like at restaurants and things, they want more covers. So, I would say as far as like the people who I've met who are singers, like all of them are super supportive, super kind, and like the community is definitely like, I feel like because we're singers, like sort of get that side of it.
That makes
sense. We get each other, yeah.
It's kind of like a little family, I guess.
Family.
I love that.
That's what we're trying to build, you know?
So how is it like performing out here as an artist and singing? Like you said, the restaurants want the covers, and if you have like the different events going on where it is a lot rap and they have that one singer that's just right there on that lineup. But how is it being a performer?
People have been like super receptive, honestly.
Yeah, okay.
Like, yeah, I've been very pleasantly like surprised, and I've got like a lot of good feedback. So I think people like to listen to live music still, and so it's always something that people are looking for in events.
Right, exactly. Now I want to talk about the not a show events. I don't know, is it your thing too? I know you on the past couple. You're on this one coming up and the last one.
I started it with my friends Wangani or J Push Faders and Chania.
Okay.
And so we created kind of what we were getting tired of with shows was that a lot of shows it seemed like there was not a lot of attention paid to like how the sound actually sounded in the space. And then also like the organization of the show and making sure that artists being paid is sort of at the forefront, but also that community is at the forefront, meaning we don't charge people to come to the show. So the show is free, people can donate what they want, and then at the end we split it evenly between all the artists involved. So you're going home with something regardless, and you're also getting to showcase, your art to a crowd of people who are looking to like find local artists who they don't know or that they love already. So yeah, it's been really, really great so far.
I think it's a really good concept. Like I said, I think I missed, y'all only done one? How many have y'all done so far?
We've done two. So the third one is this Saturday on July 22nd.
Okay, because every time I think I see her or see y'all post the clips, I'm like, it's a pretty good amount of people are there. I think what was the last one I saw? I think it was probably at the Golden Belt.
It was. All of them have been there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so I guess the acoustics, like you said, like, is it sound really good in there live? Like, of course, I'm watching on video, but
it does. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds really good. So that's been a cool part. And part of that is also like Wangani has done a lot of our sound stuff and like sets it up in the room so that there's the best sound possible for that room. So that attention to detail is definitely there with J Push Fader's facade. He has like 5 names, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I keep interchanging it, but I don't know which name to use half the time, but yeah.
You gotta say all 5.
Yeah,
then, I
facade,
guess. Yep.
J Push Faders. That's his Instagram, so.
Oh, got you. That's really like a dope concept. When I talk to other people about like events and stuff in the city and people have their ideas that they want to do, and it's like, you just gotta do something different. Yeah. Like, what is the community missing? And then like, if you're able to provide that, then like, please go ahead and do it. I know a lot of people are hard to like start on something. Yeah. They're either afraid it's not going to work or it's going to be like this and this, but the biggest thing is just starting. So commend y'all for just putting it together because it's a dope idea.
Yeah, we're really excited about the future and kind of moving forward with it, and it's been like super fun and engaging thing so far. So I'm excited to sort of like keep building that community.
I love that. Yeah. And then you're also an artist. Like do you paint, draw?
So most of my... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, because I was like, artist, wait, that could be singer. I was like, no, but you paint, you do So what kind of art do you do?
So I do painting, but my style is really called micrography. So it's making portraiture out of words. So a majority of what I've done up to this point is like pictures of musicians out of their lyrics. Yeah, so I have made like a bunch of those. But that's really my full-time job. So... I'm an artist full-time, which is awesome. But yeah, I do commissions, sell prints and stickers and things of those pieces. And then I have some more fine art pieces as well in terms of like I've done portraits of people in my life out of their life story. So using that same concept, but sort of taking it further.
Cool. So if I asked for a picture, what would you do of me? Would it be like radio stuff? Would it be when I tell you like a song and then you like draw me in the... words? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So basically, it's hard to explain, but I sketch it like I'm going to paint you. Okay. And then, have you ever seen like the artwork that's where people dot, like pointillism, it's all dots?
Yes.
So it's the same concept, but with words.
Okay.
So I'm doing words, different sizes, different fonts, and like layering them to make the portrait. So the whole portrait is words.
So I can like, if I zoomed in, basically, it would...
You can see, and you can even see them, like, depending on the size of the original, like, you could see the words themselves, like, on your face and in your hair and things like that.
Cute. Yeah. So how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing art that's kind of been the thing I've been doing since I was, like, 3, 4, or 5. So I've always been super, like, into creative fields, and just creativity and self-expression and all of that. But... I probably started I did my first portrait in like 2015 that was like that. And then I kind of let it go when I went to college. And then when I graduated, I was like, I really just want to do art.
Yeah.
So I just gave it a shot and did it full time and just was like, I'm just going to try and see if I can make this happen. And I've been kind of doing those and paintings and things like that since then. So
that is so dope.
Yeah.
I love a creative woman. I love a creative woman. I do. Now let's talk about some music. You dropped the song Clementine.
Yes, I did.
That's the most recent one out, right? And I saw in the caption you put like it was really meaningful to you. It was a meaningful song. What is Clementine? What does it mean? Like, what is it about on your side?
Yeah, so I actually wrote the song. So I think I was talking with you earlier before we started about my boyfriend and how we're like in a long distance relationship. So one of the things early on that like we talked about was that making time for each other was going to be a big thing, because that's something that like I'm really busy. I do a lot of stuff and he's busy and we live two different places. So that song I was writing is sort of my promise to him that like I was always going to make time for our relationship and our connection. And so that song was that promise.
Oh. Yeah. So is it kind of like the Clementine or Clementine?
Well,
Clementine?
I called him like Clementine is like the metaphor for him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm thinking too hard. Let me chill.
Way simpler.
Okay.
way simpler.
Okay. That is so cute.
Yeah, we're kind of cute.
Oh, because he does music too,
He does
right?
music as well, yeah. He's a producer and musician.
Does he have a song for you? Yet,
so we have a song together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's released stuff recently, but he's working on some more stuff to release. But the stuff that he's releasing now, he did a little bit ago. So he's just has so much music. But yeah, we have a song together called Trust in Me. And we actually made that song like when we first met, which is super cool. Yeah, so, but you can listen to that one all streaming platforms. It's out. But Stats is his artist name, Statz. And that's whose name you can find it under.
You better shout out your man.
Okay.
You better. Yeah. And then the album you had put out last year, the Garden album, very solid project. Very smooth, easy to listen. Love it. Easy breezy. I love it. I guess since the album you put out a couple singles here and there. So what was it when you put out this album last year? What were you kind of like, what made you want to put out a whole project? Would you think it was just time? Like I want like something where it's, okay, this is one thought or one creative idea, not just like a single here and there. What was it like, what were you going through when you put out the album or making the album?
So with that album, it was kind of an album that happened like after or in the throes of a breakup, but sort of on the cusp of that and like me sort of like moving on. And the garden was to reference, I grew up like my mom had a garden, so we grew up doing that. And so the concept is that like with everything in life that's worth something, you're going to put in a lot of effort and you have to have faith that it's going to pay off, but you have no promise of that. So it's sort of about like the principle is doing the work before you know the outcome. And so the reason I put out a project is because I'm artsy. I love the creative, the whole like, so coming up with a concept, really having a whole idea around like not just individual songs, but how to string them together and sort of make a storyline. And at the time I had met a producer named Lowski from New York. And so he had sent me some beats. And so that's kind of really what pushed me. I was like, I don't know. I'm a go by my gut person. So I had the first few songs I'd sort of make, and I was like, I feel like this is project. This is all sort of combining in my head to make a project. So that's what led me to do it. And COVID, I took like 2 years off for making music.
Yeah.
Because COVID just,
Oh, you took some years off?
Yeah, I took 2 years off.
Yeah, usually people use the pandemic as like, oh, I have nothing else to do.
Yeah, I know.
Make some music.
I had nothing to write about because you weren't doing anything or going anywhere. So for me, that I write about my life, and it was like nothing was happening. So I'm like, how do I write about this? Like, I don't know. That's how I felt. And then like after that kind of passed, then that's when I did the garden, and it kind of just all came flowing out at the same time. So
that makes sense.
yeah,
Now, are you working on another album or project, or do you want to stay like just dropping singles, or like what's coming up?
Right now, I'm really focused on dropping singles and performing more, just engaging more and trying to build like a fan base of people so that when I do drop a next project, like the audience is already there. So I'm really trying to like push and promote and do the back end work now by putting out singles and things like that to eventually put out a project. But I'm not working on it right now.
Got you. And I want to talk about real quick, even though this interview won't come out maybe for like another week or two, but I know you are live. I know you have a show tomorrow at House of Art.
Friday at House of Art.
Friday at House of Art, because today is Wednesday. Hello.
Yes.
So
I did the same thing.
Girl.
My days of the week are all screwed up.
Okay, period. So you're doing like a live band for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? So what's and they have their own thing. It's called We the
Roses,
Read the
they have
Roses.
rose sessions right now, so they have different artists like every 2 weeks who perform for that night at House of Art. So I'm performing, and I've never performed with a band before, so that's something that they had expressed they really wanted me to do, and I had already been really wanting to do. So they kind of helped me put together a few people to perform with. So I'm super excited about that. And then again, like I said earlier, I think the Nada show is going to be on July 22nd, which is Saturday, at Golden Bell Arts from like 7:45 to 10:45, I think.
Okay. That's going to be exciting.
You know,
the
we
live
got a few
band is
shows.
exciting.
Yeah, no, the live band is super exciting. And then I'm also, I didn't mention this. I'm going to put up like a canvas for people to sort of interact with me singing, whether that's like emotions they're feeling or things they're hearing or things that resonate, to like paint on the canvas. So it'll almost be like I'm singing, but they're creating the art piece about what I'm like singing and how they're feeling. So I'm excited about that element of it too.
So if I go and put Doodle Bob on there, is that okay?
If you're feeling Doodle Boppy, you can put a Doodle Bop on there.
Okay. That's how I was like, I don't want to mess up. You know, everybody come be an artist, and they put like, and I'm putting squigglies and stuff. So
do a little Doodle Bop. You can do whatever you can do. A smiley face for all I care.
I would do a dollar sign with the with the little 3 marks or 6 marks, all that stuff. So that's gonna be so good. No, I love that for you. I love you have these events going on, and about time that we got you into the station and did an interview, because you are so dope.
Thank you.
And you're so nice. And you're so talented. And I wanted to say, when I was listening to your music, the song Friday.
Yeah, that's the most popular one I got.
When you said, I don't hate you, it's just Monday, I was like, you know what? This girl is me. This girl is me. I love that. So,
you know, yeah, I feel like that's a feeling everyone shares. No one's like, yay, Monday.
Yeah, never.
No.
And it's like, especially when you're dealing with a partner, it's like, just give me a day. Like, it's really just a day. So that's how I knew he was a real one. On that lyric alone, I said she's a real one. But CJ, I appreciate you so much coming to the station. Let everybody know where they can, again, follow you and get to know your music and look for the shows. What all you got going on? Tell them for the cameras.
So you can find me on Instagram at cj.monet. All my music is linked in my bio there, but you can also find me if you just want to look it up on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer. No one uses it, but it's there. Okay. And any of the other streaming platforms as CJ Monet, and that's MONET. So that's me.